Hello fellow sim racers. It has been a very long time since I've done a sort of vlog style video like this, and it's been about equally as long since I solved some of the mounting problems with my sim racing rig. So today's video is going to be all about solving those. So I haven't really made a video featuring my rig in a while, and there have been a few things I've changed recently. I can't remember if I mentioned this, but I built a monitor stand on the back which has a mount for my camera, which is very useful, microphone stand coming off of it. And down here we have a sort of cobbled together mount for the Fanatec shifter and the iLog's handbrake, which doesn't really work very well. Still got the Stream Deck sitting down in the back there. My original button box that I was using and still do use for stuff like traction control and ABS settings is just mounted on a desk at the back. So there's a whole bunch of stuff that's just not really very well thought out that I'm going to try and solve today. There is one other factor as well, which is I've got a new toy that I need to mount. There is one other problem I need to solve as well, and that's that it hasn't been dusted since my son was born. In fact, I don't think I've hoovered in here either, so I'm going to be needing to deal with that first. Not only is it not very optimally set out, there are also a couple of other sort of stability issues that I kind of need to solve as well. Anyone who watched my Sim Lab Evo review will note that while I love the cockpit, there is a serious problem with stability on the shifter mount, as hopefully you can see how much that moves around when I shake it, and like pulling on the handbrake moves the whole arm. So sharp-eyed amongst you will have noticed this bit of 40mm aluminium profile lying on the floor here, so we're going to build an upright so we can give it a second point of support. I'm also going to try and build an arm to mount the button box to, and potentially do something a bit better with this shifter arrangement. And by potentially, I mean I definitely have to do that. That really needs to happen. I guess I should probably explain why I'm swapping out the OSW for a Fanatec DD1. Well, I've been wanting to review the DD1 since it came out, and for one reason or another, I've not been able to get hold of one. Now I have it, I really want to compare how the 20Nm midge and the 20Nm Fanatec offerings stack up. So this was the bit that I really wasn't looking forward to dealing with. This absolute rat's nest of cables, if I can tilt the camera down, that connect the OSW unit, which I've pulled out so I can see them, and then my sort of USB hub on the back here. There's so much stuff all connected in for the sim rig and the audio and stuff that goes to the extra PC and the mixing desk. It's a nightmare, and I just kind of got to disconnect all of it and start again, I guess. So that's all done now, but it's left a little bit of a trail of destruction. My desk is a bit of a horror show, and well, there's just a pile of bits of sim racing gear down here that I need to just pretend's not there for a bit, I think. Next up, I've got to turn this into a support for the shifter arm. I'll just sort of mount it here, I think, and mount for the button box, which I think is going to come off of here next to the wheel. With all of the pieces of the extrusion now cut to length, it's simply a case of just bolting it all together with some of the leftovers I've acquired over the last couple of years. Apologies if you can hear the wind and rain in the background of some of these shots now. Apparently we've had a storm come on literally out of nowhere. The next job is to lower the arm that the shifter's attached to just a little bit. I thought it was a bit too high where I had it before. Previously had the Thrustmaster shifter, which was shorter. Fanatec one's a bit taller, so it's up a little bit high, and then we can bolt all of those pieces together. I was a little bit critical of Sim Lab in the review for not including an upright because, well, as you can see, it doesn't take much and it completely solves the problem. Obviously, ideally I would have preferred it if the extrusion was in black, but I got what I was able to get. Turns out we're in some kind of pandemic. I think I'm actually going to attach the new wheel next because, well, 70% of the reason is because I just want to attach the new wheel and see what it looks like on the rig, but I also kind of want to know exactly where I want to mount my button box for clearances and stuff, or at least that's what I'm telling myself anyway. There we go, that's the Fanatec Podium wheel in place, and my, does it look shiny. Tell you what, it's very tempting just to plug it in and forego doing the rest of the work now. I knew I shouldn't have skipped ahead. I decided to cheat a little bit with the mounting plate for the button box. It's still hosing down outside, so I don't really fancy going out to the garage and cutting a bit of steel plate to fit and drilling it and what have you. So I'm using a couple of the Ialog's mounting plates that come with their shifters and the handbrake. Dimitri actually sent me a couple of different sets to try out, and I had these lying around, so I thought, let's see if it fits, and they do. You wouldn't want to attach anything that has to bear any load like that, but I mean, you know, it's a button box with a couple of switches on it. It'll be fine. It'll be fine. So the hardest part of this whole process might actually be deciding exactly where I want to mount this button box. Traditionally, I've had it a bit lower, sort of like a center console on a car, but I'm actually quite liking the idea of having it right below screen level up there in my eye line for when I need it. So I think I'm going to try it up there to start with. Actually, I need to check the clearance with my hands and the shifters and stuff before I get into that, otherwise I could get into trouble. So there you have it. I think whichever way you look at it, that's a massive improvement of what was there before, you know, it just lying on a desk and all. And, you know, I can get to the sorry and thank you buttons now, not that I ever need them, of course. I've mounted the shifter using a couple of the right angle brackets, because, well, it's still raining outside and I really don't want to go out and use the drill in the garage right now. But that's on there nice and solid, and I can make a proper mount at some point in the future. A rainy day, perhaps. So there we go, all plumbed in and looking much, 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 much better than what was there before. Owing mainly to the fact that these RJ12 connectors that Fanatec uses for the entire ecosystem, the cables are really thin compared to like regular USB cables, so that's super useful. Also, it's just nice to have everything going to like a pair of hubs here at the back. So yeah, there's still some cable management to do, particularly on this side, but I've run out of cable clips, so I'm waiting on some more to turn up. I guess all there is to do now is try it out. I hope some of you found the video interesting. I don't normally do sort of behind the scenes stuff like this, but I've been trying to vary the sorts of video I make during this whole quarantine thing because, well, people are consuming a lot of content and I'd rather it was just a bit different. So if you liked it, great. If you didn't, then I'm pretty certain you haven't stuck around to the end to listen to this bit. So I guess all that's left to say is thank you for watching and enjoy the rest of your day.